guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Agnes at momcandoit.com. Today, as promised 2 weeks ago, I have got a video where I've been testing for 14 days Oral Irrigator, a water flosser from Panasonic. This guy here. And I must say, I am very well impressed with this little Oral Irrigator. So 2 weeks ago, I have posted a video, which I will link in the comments here. I told you that I have just purchased 4 oral irrigators from 4 different brands because I really wanted to find out which one is the best. I have bought the 4 best known ones and like the most recommended ones by the Amazon because that's where I bought it from, and I started testing them. Now I can't test them all at once because then I won't see the difference between one and the other, like in terms of what difference does it actually do to my gums or my teeth. So I have tested the first one for 14 days and today I will start testing the other one, but in the meantime I wanted to tell you a little bit more about my experience with the actual oral irrigator. This is the Panasonic EW1411H rechargeable oral irrigator, otherwise known as water flosser. This one cost $49.99 and I bought it off Amazon. I will link it in the description below if you wanted to check it out yourself. I did promise that I will be testing it in terms of the battery life, the capacity and other features. What kind of features does it come with? So yes, let's go ahead and do that. So to start with, I want to tell you that I was very well impressed with this irrigator. It is very easy to use and I did really like the experience that I've had. So before buying the oral irrigator, I was using a regular floss. So this floss is a satin one and it's quite a thick one, so it fits nicely and snug between my teeth. And I did try other ones, but this one turned out to be the one of the best ones that I've so far used. And you literally wrap it around your fingers and you clean the teeth or spaces between your teeth, and that does take out a lot of mess that gathers because your teeth are just too close together to brush it and to be able to reach with the regular brushing of your teeth. So the reason why you need water flosser, or any flosser as a matter of fact, is because brushing alone is not enough. And I have said that already in my previous video, but it is the case. And using the regular floss actually is 50% less effective than using the water floss. And I didn't know about that before, but I just did not know which one to get. So I thought, now that I'm doing the YouTube channel, I might as well just test it all out and tell you all about which one is the best. So I've started off Panasonic. As I did mention, I've been using that for 14 days. Starting off the time that I've opened it. So I've unboxed it, it was really nicely packed up and all pre-assembled. The only thing you have to do is to plug it in for 23 hours and charge it. Now, after 23 hours that I've charged it, I did notice that the little indicator on here, which shows you whether the battery is charged or not, it was still flashing red. So I'm not too sure whether that means it wasn't fully charged. However, I disconnected it after about 25-26 hours of charge and the water flosser did not stop working up until today. So I've been using it for 14 days without needing to charge again. Although in the actual manual it does say that you need to charge this once a week if used by one person. No one else used it. I think my husband did try it once to use it because you got a spare head given to you. However, he did not use it regularly, so I was the only person using this for the 14 days and it did not lose the battery. I mean, I did not have to recharge it. So I think it's quite good use of the battery. I know with my manual toothbrush, I do have to top it up. Let's talk capacity. So there is a little container here which accommodates around 100 ml of water. And this is just enough to last you about 35 seconds on the jet speed mode, because the jet speed is the one that chucks the water out continuously without pulsing. And this is the mode that I tend to use the most, although I'll get to it in a minute. With the container being topped up, you get about 35 seconds. So I had to top this up at least 3 times, sometimes even 4 times, depending on how quick was I moving from one tooth to the other. However, I did find that I do feel like it does really clean your teeth nicely. So after using the regular floss, I normally see a lot of dirt on it. With this one, you can't obviously see it. I don't see much flying out either because I use water floss after already brushing my teeth. So I suppose the brush does already get out a lot of the mess that you don't get to see. However, the leftovers that I usually would have cleaned with a normal floss was cleaned with this. You can't tell anything flying out of your mouth. However, I am 100% sure that it does a good job because it did feel like my teeth were really nice and clean. Another thing that I wanted to mention is that I did use lukewarm water. So if you normally brush your teeth in a cold water, go ahead and just put cold water in there. However, I was using lukewarm water because I found that if I use very cold water, it makes my teeth a little bit sensitive, and this does project quite a high pressure of water. So one thing to look out for is when you're actually pressing the start button, you do need to already hold the flosser inside your mouth because you end up splashing all over your face, and I did that a few times actually. Once it went into my eye and it was rather painful. So yeah, I've learned not to do that mistake, not to do that again. And also another thing, that when you're actually using the oral irrigator, you want to probably lift your elbow a little because the water will start dripping down your hand. It is rather messy thing to use, but again, it is so worth it, and I recommend you getting one. If you have been wondering whether to get one or not, go ahead and get it. So I did go for the cordless option because it's just so much easier to store. Again, it does need to be topped up quite often because it only has a little container. But I did find it that it takes a little space, so I held this on top of my mirror where my kids cannot reach because I did not want them to use it, because obviously it does project quite strong stream of water, so I didn't want them to get hurt using it. Also, I didn't know whether they would be sure how to use it. As to features that it has air-in, soft feature, regular and jet interdental. To be very honest, I did try the other two modes, but they were too slow and kind of not really good for me. I know that the other two modes are better if you have braces, and that cleans very well the spaces between the braces, but I ended up using just one mode, which is the jet one, which projects the water, oxygenated water, in one stream without pulsing. One thing to point is that you do want to keep this dry and clean because this is obviously getting the water in. I ended up emptying this completely after finishing flossing my teeth every day. When I finished flossing my teeth, I used to put this back onto the charger port, although it was never plugged in. I ended up leaving this thing open, so this is where the water gets in, and if you leave this open, obviously it provides the air and makes it dry out quicker, and because of that you will prolong the life of your water flosser, because obviously the moisture does not stack in, and eventually what's going to end up happening if you don't clean it regularly, it will end up getting damp and you will see black mold building up inside, and this is something that eventually you're going to have to end up replacing your water floss. So if you want to prolong the life of it, it's best to just keep it open and also regularly clean it. And I also always used to just wipe the whole thing with the towel so it stays nice and clean and dry. So as I promised, I will be rating this from 0 to 5, and 5 being the best, 0 being the worst. I will give this 4 stars. The reason why I'm giving it 4 stars, so it is a reasonably high marking, is because the price is so affordable. $49.99 is still at the lower end of the prices that I paid. It's the cheapest of the actual water flosses that I picked. Another thing is that the battery lasted until now, so I didn't have to recharge it again. So it's just easy because you charge it once every 2 weeks, I guess. I don't know how long this is actually going to last because I'm not going to be using it ever since. I will be using another one for the next 14 days, and then whichever I like the most, I will just stack onto using forever. It is very good in terms of what job does it do. Have I seen my gums improving? I must say I don't know. I never had bleeding gums, or I never had problems with my gums, but it does massage your gums and it does claim to improve your gums within 14 days. I would have to visit my dentist to see whether she's seen any improvements, and it is a little bit too late for that, and also it probably would have been a little bit difficult now having the coronavirus and everything being so difficult. It would have been really hard for me to book an appointment every 2 weeks and go and check it out with the dentist whether it actually makes a difference. But I know dentists do recommend using water flosses, so I'm pretty sure that it has done a good job. I must say that I did notice that especially in between the first 2 teeth, I did lose that bit of a darkness that I had, so I think the pressure that this provides does actually help to get rid of the staining between your teeth. So I really did like that. This is why I'm scoring it so high. So in the actual box, you do have one spare head. They recommend you changing these once every 6 months, just for the hygienic reasons, not for any other reasons. But if you do have anyone else using it with you, you're gonna have to just buy another 2 heads, which don't come with the set. The one thing that I wanted to see now is to brush my teeth like I would have normally do in the evening. It is now 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so I'm not yet due to do my brush, but I will do my brush now. Then I will use the water flosser, then I'll come back and I will do the test with the regular flosser, because this will tell me whether the water flosser does actually remove all the debris from my teeth. Lighting. I'm in my bathroom right now because I wanted to do the flossing, as I said, and see how it works out. So I just want to do it while you're kind of here to show you whether it actually whether I have any more residue on my teeth. So let me just do the flossing and I'll bring the floss here to show you whether there is anything on it. It is a little bit gross, so apologies, but normally I find that right at the back of my teeth is where I have a bit of dirt still stuck in, and I still find this to be the case, but it's so little that I think maybe I should combine and use both of them. I'm not too sure. So as I said, I did not use the normal flosser for the last 2 weeks, and this is why I have not been able to reach those very hard to reach areas for the brush. And obviously water flosser cannot get where the actual flosser can get to, because it does not have the ability to go in between of those super tiny spaces which floss can get into, but the water perhaps cannot reach. But I am still impressed that after 2 weeks, normally after 2 weeks, if I wouldn't use the floss, it would be pretty gross to watch because it's just not very easy to clean with the manual brush. But with this, as I said, it was hardly anything, so I'm impressed. Let me just carry on with the rest and see where I get to, because perhaps I have focused more on one side than the other. Yeah, the same thing. So right at the very back of my teeth is where tiny bit of residue is still left, but I must say for 2 weeks of not using this and having hardly anything on it proves that this water flosser really does do the job well. So I've cleaned my teeth, they're nice and clean, and as I did say, I'm very impressed with this water flosser, and I really think it's a money well spent. If you guys enjoyed this video and you like content like that, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and look out for February, when I will be doing the ultimate comparison. So thank you so much for watching and hope to see you soon. Take care.